somebody else and put in a room or put in a separate area, that's very bad, and I definitely don't recommend doing that. So yeah, in this sort of situation, I would definitely just sit down, talk, and just try and figure out some strategies together. And like I said before, it's about including autistic people in their learning and in all their aspects of their life. So instead of just sort of having little teachery meetings behind people's backs, sort of have an integrated meeting where everyone's included.
Holly, can I say?
Yeah, of course.
What about the non-verbal one?
Yeah, so I guess that's a completely different ball game. So I suppose it depends how they would communicate. So if they would use sort of signing, or if they prefer to write it down, or sort of draw it. So it's finding different ways for sort of the non-verbal autistic young people to communicate. So it really depends what's sort of best for them. But again, I think schools always think that talking is the main method of communication. So it's all about thinking outside the box and sort of thinking how young autistic people who may be non-verbal can communicate. So there's definitely different ways. It's just sort of making sure the school's aware that my child is non-verbal, therefore he or she won't talk during it, but they will be able to communicate. So it's still very important that you include them in such meetings, and they sort of need to communicate in their own way. I know with some non-verbal autistic people that the mothers definitely will sort of understand what they're trying to say without them speaking, because of course they live with them and they sort of they understand what they're trying to say and what they're trying to communicate across. So with having the parent in the meeting, they support the non-verbal autistic child to sort of communicate, if that makes sense. So that's actually the end of that little section, so if anyone else has any questions, it's probably quite a good time.
Could I just say something?
Yeah.
My son is 4.
Mm.
He is non-verbal, he has a few words.
Mm.
He has very good comprehension in terms of when familiar words are spoken to him in scenarios. At the moment, he has behaviour where he's continually pulling children's hair.
Oh, okay.
Not just tugging at it for a short period, clinging to it. I saw this on Friday, the last time I saw it. Same child on 2 occasions. Once when the child got onto a bus with his buggy alongside my son, and just before we left the nursery, and he's literally clinging to the hair, not letting go. And I wonder if he may have, I can't say, but if he has obsessive behaviour with pulling the hair, because he's been getting responses from his nursery setting, which are quite positive, being tickled, to release the hair.
Right, okay.
The response that I have is to remove his hand from the child's hair. They're not legally allowed to do that, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
And I've heard what you said about it's not appropriate to sometimes put someone into a separate area.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I'm a former children and family social worker. I've worked in residential children's homes. Not that I have a wealth of knowledge, but I know about my son. Now, the force with which my son is pulling other children's hair, smaller children, I've witnessed it, as I've said, it's dangerous. I'm fearful that I'm going to receive a phone call that's saying, I have to come and collect my son because harm has come to another child.
Yeah.
Not because it's my son who's done that. There's harm to come to a child, that's my bottom line. If I can in some way intervene to give the situation, how can I say, the opportunity to become safe again, because the behaviour that he's displaying, he was on a bus with me on Saturday, he goes to a music group for all children who have some or ASD. Yeah. He literally lunged at the little girl as she came in her buggy to get to her hair. There was nothing, she was getting out and she gently appeared to look at the phone that he was holding. Yeah. So he's now even in turn, he's doing that in so many different settings. He's generalised it into his music setting. We go to ABA, there's a free ABA sessions that we can access. He's doing it everywhere now. So I now have to look at how I can help him, because I feel as though he's in an environment where harm may come to him and other children, but more so other children. And I'm not saying that it is obsessive behaviour or I know what's causing it, because people have said to me, their children do that. They display challenging behaviour, pulling can understand that, but sometimes you have to look at the specific context of the setting. For this situation, it was safe for that child to remain there. For my son, I actually don't feel that it's safe for the other children and for him, for it to continue.
Yeah.
In the event of it lead, I know anything can happen any time, but you see something happen 5 times, you witness it, and it's happening daily.
Yeah.
There's a high probability.
I mean, it sounds almost like it's a cross between a habit and a sort of a sensory sort of experience, which I'm guessing may be what the nursery are trying to tell you. Is that what they're trying to say, sort of sensory
The
thing?
reason why I'm nodding so vigorously is he used to always have other people's hair in his mouth, and when I changed him, he had hair. So I know that he has a thing about hair.
I mean, it's difficult at the nursery. I think, obviously, you know, I think even though I don't believe, obviously, it can't be positively reinforced for it, I don't think it should be negative. I believe very much in constructive discipline, which kind of means that it's the sort of, what do you call it, the procedure that follows sort of has to do with what happened. So, for example, if he's pulling a girl's hair, you sort of say no thank you and give him something else to do instead of putting him on like a timeout or whatever they do to discipline them, and sort of just give them something different and just keep on doing that, and just don't even draw attention to the behaviour. Don't say, oh no, that's wrong, you can't do that, because I don't know his level of comprehension, but he may or may not understand that. But sometimes it's just easier just to say no thank you, move, no thank you, and just keep on doing it. Do you know what I mean?
I do. The problem is he's at the point now where a week ago I was told that he went to grab a child's hair and left scratches in the child's head, and then I saw him with the other child. I couldn't release his grip because I was holding on to him while I packed the bag so that we could hopefully go. The child just innocently came by him. So what he's doing is it's with a lot of energy and ferocity, and so that strategy is what we use at ABA at home when I'm with him. And it's I just wanted to say that I understand what you're saying about sometimes don't remove the child, but sometimes for safety you have to look at how you can manage the situation, because for me he can't remain there at this time.
No, I definitely understand your difficulty, and I think
it's just I'm just throwing it in. I'm not asking for any answer or a solution.
I think again it's sort of understanding sort of where it comes from, whether it is a sensory thing. Because if you think outside the box, you can sort of get. I don't know how you feel about you know, sort of boys playing with stereotypical girls' clothes, but you can get sort of a head or sort of a doll with long hair. So if he has a thing about hair, so he sort of has that. He has that on already.
I'm not saying that he has one and that's been done, but he has one. He always used to throw it away.
Oh
now,
really?
He will gentle. This morning there's a little girl he really likes her. She's non-verbal. Rania, and when she came to say her name, Rania, he went to her hair, and I cautiously went with his hand by my hand, and he did actually gentle Rania. But another boy, he went to get their hair. So he is differentiating between certain people. I would never say he'd never go for that person, but there's certain people that I've seen he doesn't respond to them in that way, but others indiscriminately.
Yeah, so it's good if you have the doll to sort of practice the gentle stroking. It's obviously not everyone wants their hair stroked, but you know, it's sort of a more acceptable way to have that sort of sensory experience rather than obviously pulling their hair. If you stroke the hair and you ask the other child if that's okay, then you know that could be, you know, almost a solution. So I guess it's just keeping in the routine of having these dolls or whatever it is with the hair, and just, you know, I don't know if you're allowed to take toys to nursery or.
They'd be able to, but there's just no way of stopping him from accessing the. And it's literally his and his specialist provision. There are maybe 100 plus other children in that playground at the same time. And they've said basically they can't stop him because he's just out, obviously, as he should be, amongst all the other children playing. But this is what's happening randomly.
You get a hamster?
No, my son slapped a cat when he was about 2, so after that,
I was
he
going to
needs
say,
time before he has an animal.
Might be a nice idea, but.
Well, a cat is big enough to cause some damage to your son. But a hamster is small enough and scared enough of large people that it would be a teaching opportunity for the stroking and to realise the emotions of the hamster in that scenario without risking a large amount of damage to your son. It's just a thought.
I'm worried for the
autistic.
hamster. I'm not being funny. My son he's very strong. He's very, I know everyone, but he is actually, so I wouldn't put an animal in that position. I'm not being rude to my son, but I wouldn't. He's not, and the thing is, he's lovely. That's the thing about, and he looks angelic, my son.